Namanda, 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 Namanda. 고응행기니 이직문옥 녀센명 무요돌샤 니칭앗마니 슈코엔요 가이시논페 예냐그즈먹 녀라여응엔 절세문인 성악그다연 거르지보 가이먼쇼진 산마이치에 이덕금으려 스쇼케우 진타이젠넴 쇼büt홀까이 느징진노 긍옹아이타이 무묘여그느 세손열무 니노시시 진덕금으려 그큰 거다이 지혜진명 거멸이서 신돌다이센 ngangasabis zaisholho kadosholji mihugedat husejoi taininshoji 뇨세산마이 지혜이조 노세이토크붓 흑여싱암 이사이크크 이사다얀 게시읍붓 야크셈 노크만 무료다이쇼 신용어자 그요이사이 시톨쇼붓 분여그도 겐쇼흑약 희녀고자 쇼분세카이 무흑하게 무슈셋도 거묘시쇼 헨시쇼콕 뇨세쇼지 이진난요 룡아사붓 거끄도다이치 五種奇妙道場超絶国女内音二無闘争がと愛民道達一切自法来生新年少女伊藤が国経楽安穏公文神妙是が心象法願の日力小小欲自法世尊知恵無下上領子孫知が信行計量心思食読中願行精進人数不軽ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがにしくどく平等性祭道法菩提心往生ナマンダツナマンダツナマンダツナマンダツナマンダツナマンダツナマンダツナマンダツ。Please join me in Gasho. Seeing the sentient beings of the Nembutsu throughout the 10 worlds, countless as particles in the 10 quarters, The Buddha grasps and never abandons them, and therefore is named Amida. Grasps, sesshu. Once grasped, one is never abandoned. Setsu means to pursue and grasp, and the one who seeks to run away. Setsu means to take in. Shu means to receive and embrace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandats, 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 namandats. Good morning, everyone. Well, welcome to today's last Sunday service of January. Today is January 31st. This month, we have had 5 Sunday services, although we've actually done, I think, only 4 on the YouTube channel here, since the first couple of services were the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day service. But however, I wanted to talk a little bit about this wasan today from Shindan Shonin's Hymns on the Pure Land Sutra. So what he talks about is on the Amida Sutra, and this one, I'll read it again. Seeing the sentient beings of the Nembutsu throughout the 10 worlds, countless as particles in the 10 quarters, the Buddha grasps and never abandons them, and therefore is named Amida. So this is, I think, one of the central aspects to why we chant the Amida Sutra so much, and why we still worship Amida Buddha. I actually have another explanation I'd like to read from the volume 2 of the collected works of Shinran. And here is another explanation of grasp and never abandon. This is a central key to Amida Buddha. Sesshu Fusha, expression for the working of great compassion and for all the benefits given by Amida to a person of Shinjin. It is derived from the Contemplation Sutra, which states that the light of Amida illumines all the world in the 10 quarters, grasping and never abandoning sentient beings of the Nembutsu. To grasp and never abandon is a dynamic term having several connotations. The active, unremitting pursuit of all beings, especially those who turn away from Amida, the grasping of all sentient beings without discrimination, and the inevitable act of taking each being completely into the heart of great compassion. At the moment of a person realizes Shinjin, he or she is grasped by Amida and is never abandoned. Thus, they reside in the stage of non-retrogression and will unfailingly attain birth in the Pure Land. So that is the understanding of grasping and never abandoning. So in my past Dharma talks, I've talked heavily about the wisdom and compassion of Amida Buddha. You probably remember this. I've said it a lot, and I've said that it touches all sentient beings. It touches us all, and it never stops. So with this understanding, I think that Shinran was definitely getting to the point that Amida Buddha embraces all sentient beings without ceasing, without discrimination, and without the human form of calculation. So what do I mean by this? So us as ordinary beings, as Bombu, we all have friends. We all have people we love, correct? We all have the things that we love in life. However, I think one of the central aspects of us as human beings or as Bombu is that we also have a type of calculation that centers around our ego. Okay, so our ego, in a sense, while being in some cases very smart, and some people are geniuses, it can blind us to accepting all sentient beings as basically is no different from ourselves, right? So we see a person wearing some shirt that says something that we may not like, right? I see that a lot. And I just turn my head off. I go, ugh. I close my eyes and I want to turn away. I shun them, right? I go, ugh, I don't like that person. Ugh, I don't like what they're saying. And so that is my bonno. Those are my hang-ups, my kleshas, right? And I don't think that that's ever going to stop necessarily. I can try my hardest. I can try to be as accepting and as worldly, as kind as I can possibly be. But at some point, someone, somewhere is going to say something that I don't like or that I really disagree with. Something that will probably get me very, very angry. And if you have met any of my friends from the Institute of Buddhist Studies, they'll tell you that happened a lot. Now, that being said, there is an example of this I can learn from Amida Buddha. So there is this story of an old man. Okay, he's really grouchy, he's really grumpy, and he sits on his front porch, right? He sits on his front porch, and and it was interesting because he he seemed grouchy and grumpy. He actually, I'll get to the end of the story here, but he seemed grouchy and grumpy, and that's how all the kids basically expected him to be. All the kids and playing in the neighborhood said that this man was this old grumpy man who sat on his porch and yelled at them all the time. And one of the reasons for that was because they were playing by the creek, right? So this old man is always shouting at them. This is a story I learned from my childhood, by the way. The old man is always shouting at them, "Hey, you kids, get away from that creek," right? And the kids just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. Why is this old man being this curmudgeon-y person and keeping me from having fun? Well, later, as it turned out, one of the children, sadly, went too far to the creek and was swept away, and they passed away. And then all the kids were just floored. Again and again and again, the old man told them, "Get away from the creek. Stop playing near the creek." And they never listened, right? And the man kept telling them, "Stop playing at the creek. Stop it, stop it, stop it." And now the kids pointed at this man, probably made fun of him, and said, "This man is this curmudgeon-y old person who just doesn't want us to have any fun," right? But actually, that man yelling at them, he was really concerned for their safety, right? And he even yelled at them again and again every single day. And sadly, one of the children was lost to this creek because they were swept away, they didn't listen, and they drowned. Now, in this instance, this is just a story, right? This is just a story not to be taken too literally, but one of the things that Amida Buddha always does, no matter what, we are the children, right? We are all of us. It doesn't matter how old you are, right? In this life, in a religious sense, we are all the children. We are all these children who refuse to listen to wisdom, right? And sometimes we all know, I think, in a sense, what ultimate truth is, right? When we say, "Oh yeah, well, we know what reality is," or "We've been told what reality is before," right? But largely, we don't listen to that. And why is that? Because of our human condition, because of our bonno. We don't listen to wisdom at times. So now, that doesn't say that wisdom doesn't benefit us, or that Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion doesn't benefit us to this day, right? In fact, actually, it's because we are like this that Amida Buddha works and continues to work. And it's because we're like this that Amida Buddha grasps and never abandons us. So with that story in mind, right, think about this. Think about what it means to be grasped and never abandoned. When we make choices in our lives, when we make distinctions, when we make these thoughts in our head, judging others, telling ourselves, "I'm better than that person over there," that is our bonno. That is our klesha. That is our hang-up. That is the thing that is one of the things that keeps us from enlightenment, right? Whereas we keep hearing again and again and again, non-discrimination, right? We keep hearing non-discrimination from Amida Buddha. We keep hearing wisdom and compassion. We hear it all the time. But that being said, there still isn't this thing that just magically turns off our human nature. There isn't this thing that just magically turns it off, right? If we became enlightened right here and right now, then there would be no need for Amida Buddha to grasp us, right? There would be no need for us to hear the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. There would be no need for Amida Buddha, for that matter. Yet we are beings who are drowned in our own egos, who are drowned in our own blind passions, that we must hear again and again and again that the wisdom and compassion of Amida Buddha is still working for our benefit. So as this year progresses, I'd like to talk a little bit more about some central Jodo Shinshu terms like tariki, or other power, right? And then I just talked about one, sesshu fusha, right? To grasp and never abandon, right? Just like that old man who was always sitting on his porch, right? And again, at first, they may seem kind of mean and curmudgeon-y, but at the same time, that man was only concerned about those young kids' safety, right? So, it's just one of those things, those terms, I think, are really important for us to know and to be able to relate to our real lives, okay? So with that in mind, I would like to thank you all for once again joining me and virtually on YouTube, and hopefully we don't have to do this for much longer. But again, we live in this age of modern medicine. We live in this age of, quite frankly, very simple not complete 100% solutions to problems, but I think we are living in an age where we have safety measures that we can take against this pandemic, against this virus that's still continuing to cause a lot of suffering in our society. So we hear again and again and again, we hear the little things that you can do, the tiny little things. Limit the amount of times you go out, wear a mask, and now we're saying to double mask, right? We're limiting what else? Social distance, right? Use hand sanitizer. All of these little things that we can all do to play a part in helping to curb this pandemic and helping to flatten the curve of this pandemic, right? And sometimes, because of our humanness, it's hard for all of us. It's hard for me, right? I want to go out. I want to go back to California and visit my family. I want to hang out with my brother. I want to do all these things, right? Like I don't want to stay cooped up in the house, right? Despite the fact that the house that the wonderful house that the wonderful temple provided for me, right? Like I have indoor plumbing, I have lots of food in the refrigerator, I have a very nice kitty who keeps me company, and of course a wonderful wife. I have all these wonderful things, and yet I still am driven by this bondo, by the kleshas that make me want to go, I want to go outside, I want to go exploring, I want to go to this place, right? I want to go and hang out with my friends and go to bar hopping or whatever, right? And so all of that just causes me to make myself suffer, in a sense. And then after that, I realized this is why I must rely on Amida Buddha, right? And once I do, then I can really appreciate what this means of to be grasped and never to be abandoned. So once again, sorry about that last part, but thank you for joining us for today's virtual Sunday service. And I will see you all next weekend when it's February. So please stay safe, wear masks, double mask, use hand sanitizer, social distance, all of those things. And of course, most importantly, say the Nembutsu. Please join me in Gassho. ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナマンダプス、ナマンダプス、ナマンダプス、ナマンダプス、ナマンダプス。To conclude this service, I would like to read Matsudai Muchi no Sho, or Renyo Shonin's letter on the latter ages. Matnai Muchi no Zaike Shiju no Nanyo Taran Tomongara wa 心を一つにして阿弥陀仏深く頼み参らせて、さらに世の方へ心を振らず、一心一根にぶ助けたまえたもさん、主上ば。たとえ在後は人獣なりとも、必ず御陀如来は救いましますべし。これすなわち第18の念仏往生の誓願の心なり。核のごとく献上しての上には、寝ても覚めても命のあらん限りは、称名念仏すべきものなり、あなかしこ、あなかしこ